to Endurance Productions Movie Reviews. Coming at you again, folks, with some more horror classics. Going to do a quick review on a film I've come into a recent purchase of before I do the Friday the 13th Deluxe Editions. I'm going to review none other than the 1981 horror classic, The Howling. First, I'd like to say a few words about the story behind The Howling. The Howling, I don't really consider it a slasher movie of the 80s era, although it is right smack dab in the middle of the 80s slasher films like Friday the 13th and Halloween sequels that came along. Guys, it's basically a good werewolf movie that took the genre of the werewolf movie and turned it on its head. It's got a good sense of humor to it. The story centers around a news anchor that basically has a bad run-in with a so-called psychopath, who we learn later in the story is a little more than just a psychopath. He goes a step further, I'll just say that. She has a bad run-in with this guy. She's trying to break the big story or whatnot, and she basically seeks psychiatric help. And whenever she seeks psychiatric help, her psychiatrist basically tells her to go to a local colony where she can seek refuge and counseling. To carry on talking about the story, folks, the main character, the news anchor, she is there at this colony place trying to seek refuge and get counseling that she needs to overcome the bad run-in with the psychopath that has more than meets the eye. While there, she noticed all these strange goings-on, these howls in the night, and basically horror ensues. It's not like in a slasher vein where they're picked off one by one or anything of that nature, but it's just in the vein of a good old-fashioned werewolf movie. There's a lot of intrigue. You don't know who the werewolves are right away. You kind of figure it out as you go along in the story. But the thing I like most about this story, it incorporates a lot of humor. It has a good sense of humor. It's like it kind of picks apart the lore of the werewolf. Doesn't follow all the sanctioned guidelines of werewolf-isms, as I call them. It basically turns the story of the werewolf on its head and just kind of makes it its own journey along the way. Most notably, talking about the cast and crew of this film, first of all, this movie was directed by Joe Dante. You'll know Joe Dante from the horror classic, he directed the horror classic Piranha, and also the horror comedy or the monster comedy Gremlins. The Howling has some great special effects in it, folks. The special effects are done by Rob Bottin. This was Rob Bottin's first major movie special effects effort. He would later go on to do the special effects for the horror favorite John Carpenter's The Thing. There's many horror favorites in the cast for this movie, including D. Wallace Stone, Christopher Stone, John Carradine, and some hilarious cameo appearances by some people that you've probably seen in other movies that are just kind of a little bit out of place in this movie. Most notably is the Southern character actor Slim Pickens. He plays the local law enforcement at the colony of werewolves, and every scene he's in, I love. I mean, I'm not going to ruin it for you folks if you've never seen it. But watch for Slim Pickens to just show up in little keynote parts in this movie, and they're very funny. Just talk a few moments about the DVD presentation of The Howling. As I've said before in many other reviews, the first slew of DVDs that we got from MGM Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, they were bare bones DVDs. They didn't have a whole lot on them. It's not the case with this one, folks. Just like with John Carpenter's The Fog and a couple of others, this one is chock full of special features. Just to kind of give you a quick rundown of the special features, they have Unleashing the Beast, Making of The Howling, multi-part documentary. Excellent behind the scenes, folks. It's not just filler. It has a lot of good insight on the special effects, how the movie came together. Very, very informative documentary, I feel. Has a lot of deleted scenes that weren't in the original theatrical cut of the film. Outtakes, which are pretty funny. They're not the best outtakes I've ever seen, but they'll give you a quick laugh. Making a monster movie inside the Howling documentary. Just further behind the scenes. Got some good interviews with Rob Bottin, etc. Has an audio commentary with director Joe Dante, T. Wallace, Christopher Stone, and Robert Picardo, people in the cast and the director. I listened to an apportionment of this audio commentary. As before, folks, I don't really dig on a whole lot of audio commentary. If they don't really rope me in within the first 20 minutes, I kind of sporadically listen to it in the parts of the movie that I like the best. It's informative. If you're an audio commentary type person, you might enjoy it, but I kind of I didn't really get too much out of it other than just their reflections on the film. It was a little boring. It's got a photo gallery, original theatrical trailer, and a great newly digital enhanced 5:1 surround sound. Surround sound is crystal clear. The picture is very good. It's in the 16:9 1.85:1 ratio widescreen anamorphic. Check it out, folks. If you've never seen it, shame on you. Go to your video store and rent it at least if you want good werewolf horror for your horror night at the home there, except none other than the 1981 classic, The Howling. This has been Endurance Productions Movie Reviews. See you soon with the Friday the 13th Deluxe Editions. Take care, folks. See you next time.